déclenché le truc. On continue de tourner, on n'arrête pas la caméra.
All right, Michel. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
how
Man,
are you?
I'm so happy to be speaking to you, dude. Uh, I love the film. I
Thank
love
you.
you. I'm a fan of all your work. But when I saw that this movie is finally coming out, because I know it's been done for a minute, I was like, I need to see it, and I was hoping to really get the opportunity to speak with you. And I'm glad I'm speaking with you about this film in particular because, and this ties into my first question. My name is Dempsey, by the way. Sorry for not saying that before.
Nice to meet
Dempsey
you.
Certified. Uh, my first question is, I'm assuming. Well, I'm not going to assume anything. You were just as enamored by one cut of the dead as I was, and that's why you felt so compelled to make this movie. But I want to hear from you why you decided to do this film and why you felt so compelled to bring your own kind of flair to a movie that I consider to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, so first, it's kind of a coincidence because I was working on my own on a movie, a comedy on a shooting set. And I've been working since 30 years now, and I have many, many stories. I met many awkward people with huge egos, and I thought it's a good material to make a movie. There's a lot of comedy about shooting sets, and it was fun, like a night for day in a comedy. And so I started to work on this. It was during the lockdown, and I never heard about One Cut of the Dead. And then and I spoke with a friend of mine who's producer, and for something very different. He asked me what I was working on, and I told him, and my story was like a catastrophic day of shooting, and at the end everything was resolved by a miraculous one-shot sequence that would resolve all the problem of the day. And so it was simple, but it was like the main thing. And so I told him, and he said, you won't believe, but I just bought the rights of a remake of a movie, and you have to watch it. So the very same evening, I watched the movie with my wife, and at the end, I say, okay, I'm going to do that. I will jump on it because it's so clever. The structure is so good. And so Berenice was, what, really? You're going to remake that awkward movie? And I say, yeah, but it's genius. I mean, it's really, really good. And the fact is, first in France, nobody knew the movie. It has been released very confidentially, and it's a festival's darling all over the world, but it was not that known in France. And also two things pushed me to accept to jump on it. I mean, not talking about the quality of the movie and what it offers, but it's another economy. I did it in another economy. It's very different. It's such a low budget. I bring the story in something more professional. So anyway, it's different, and also it's a Japanese movie, and doing like a Western version of it was also something exciting. And even if it's a remake, shooting a 35 minutes shot is very, very, very challenging, believe me. So everything was challenging for me, and I say, okay, I think it's worthy, and I thought it was a good idea to jump on it.
So you go into my next question, which is that shot, that first thing that we see was indeed one shot.
Yeah, yeah. So I have to be honest with you. I did some there's some editing in the sound, of course. The image, there's some very, very little things that I could change a little bit, but not that much. But anyway, we shot it entirely, each time 35 minutes of shooting. I had some we rehearsed for 5 weeks and a half of rehearsing, and we shot for 4 days, and the good one arrived the fourth day. And yeah, no, it's really it is something. And also it's very difficult because of course, you have to be very precise. You have the actors, you have the comedy, you have the awkwardness, and it's 35 minutes, all this movement, the crew, the SFX, the blood, the stunts. So everything has to be very, very precise. But not only that, another very challenging thing is when you do such a complicated shot, you want it to be the best you can. So you want the jokes to be funny. You want to put jokes. You want to the things go in the perfect tempo. You don't want it to be boring. But that was not the script. The script, I had to do sometimes really boring or really awkward with no jokes. So I had to resist to the temptation to make it better. I had to keep it in the way it's written, and so that was really, really challenging.
Yeah, it's crazy because there are jokes built into the sequence, so you want to make sure, like you called it perfect because you have to make sure to include those jokes, and those jokes are with the world within the film are just quirks that are happening that these people aren't expecting. So that's insane. And then going back to what you said, in life I learned two things: you either get something that's perfect or you get something that's good and done efficiently. Here it sounds like you managed to get the best of both worlds somehow, right?
Yeah, and it's very, you have to be confident in the audience, because I was like, I hope, we opened the Cannes Festival with that movie. So it was the opening. Everybody was in tuxedo. And I know one of the things that I love in that movie is that the first part, you really judge what you watch. You say, wow, it's so bad. How can they do this? And at the end, not only you don't judge anymore, but you judge the fact that you had judged because you realize that was not important, the quality of it. What was important is what they did, and they succeed to do something. And but when you're in Cannes and all these people, the Gotha of the cinema, of the worldwide cinema, watching your movie, and you say, that everybody is judging you. And so you have to be very confident in the audience and say, I hope they will stay here. I was expecting some boos in a way. Maybe some people, who knows? Cannes can be very mean, and but nobody booed actually. And at the end, the more you think it's a shitty movie at the beginning, the more freeing and it is at the end. The best, the satisfaction is at the end.
No, I totally agree more. I think that's what makes it so interesting. It gives you a deeper appreciation of like the craft and what people actually do to make movies come to life. That's one of the reasons why I love it anyway. I wanted to ask you about Roman in particular in the movie, because the whole time I was watching it, I was like, he kind of looks like Michel a bit. Was that done on purpose? And then he's married to your wife in the movie. So like there's a layer already like self-awareness in the film. But did you cast him because of a similarity in how he looked? And do you think that he represents you, or like do you think he was a good avatar for you in the film is my question.
Not really. I cast him because I think he's a wonderful actor, and he didn't do so many comedies. And I love like the supposed serious actors. When you put them in comedy, Tom Cruise in comedies is like incredibly funny, and because he's not a comedy actor, he's supposed to be serious. So once you push a little bit, they can be when they are good actors, they can be very funny. And that's why I cast him. And yeah, of course, I mean, his wife is played by my wife, but his daughter in the movie, she's my daughter in real life. Yeah. So so it's and I knew, I mean, I was watching him when we were shooting. He was like spying me and trying to mimic some things, and I was like, okay, do your job, whatever. But it's not, I mean, he doesn't play me. I don't think so. I mean, I didn't ask him, but I don't think he plays me. But you know, I think I don't know. I think maybe it's I don't know if I'm pretentious, but the actors I cast were all good-looking guys, and Louis Garrel is very good-looking. Dujardin, Omar Sy. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe I see myself in Romain Duris. Maybe.
It's okay. It's okay if it was subconscious. Don't worry about it, man. It's no, but that's one thing I noticed, and I appreciate it. It made like it was funnier to me, and it also kind of like complemented the theme of, like I said, everything being self-aware, and like the audience is aware that what they're watching is totally not real. So it worked. It worked, whether it was intentional or not. Now, whenever I watch a remake, I'm always spotty because there are always a lot of differences, right? The best ones have differences anyway, right? The best ones are not shot for shot remakes. This one has some really cool differences. One of my favorites is the way that they have to keep the Japanese names.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what were some of your favorite differences, or what were some things that you were proud to bring in and mesh seamlessly with this with your version of the film?
Well, I had to. I like the old fact that he's doing a remake himself of a Japanese movie, which was my situation, and so it adds a level of meta. And it allows me two things. The first is what you noticed, making jokes about these different differences between Western people and Japanese people, and how you can say something and you don't even know, is it racist? No, it's not racist. I'm not racist. But did I say something? And I love this kind of awkward situation of someone not racist, but saying something borderline. So this was like for comedy, but also it allowed me to put the original in the core of the film. And usually when people do remakes, they hide the original. There's a lot of remakes you don't even know they are remakes because nobody talks. It's not even in the credits sequence. You don't know that it's there's an original movie. I wanted to do the exact opposite because I really respect the movie, the original, and I love the original. So I wanted to put it into the core of the narration. And another thing that I had, and I think it works, and is the musician, the guy who does the music, and when Shinichirō Ueda saw the movie, he was so happy. He told me, "It's so good that you had the musician. It's always been my frustration, and I think it's a great idea." And then it's little things here and here, and it's very strange anyway, because even if you even when you're faithful to reshoot a sequence with the actors that you cast, with the adaptation, your words, your cutting, your location, and where you put the camera and everything, you make it yours, really. And at the end, it's a very personal movie. And even trying to be faithful, I didn't want to change just to change. So yeah, I realized that starting from another movie is like starting from a script that someone else wrote, or starting from a book that someone else wrote. And it's at the end, it's you make your own movie.
Very well said. And I love. I wanted to point that out as well. I love the musician that you add, where he's playing music, and after a while you're like, "Can you stop that?" It was hilarious. Michel, I think I'm out of time, but it was a pleasure, such a great pleasure to speak with you about this movie. I cannot wait to see what you do next. Can you tease us real fast? What do you have in the works?
Yeah, I'm working on an animation movie, and and it's not a comedy, but it's a beautiful and wonderful story. I think it's a great movie. I'm making it. I still have one let's say 8 months or 9 months to finish it. But it's a great story. It's based on a book that has been very successful in France, and it's been published here in US. It's called The Most Precious of Cargoes, and it's a great story. It's very overwhelming, and yeah, I hope it's going to be good.
I think it is going to be good. Okay. And I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much, Michel. I wish you the best of luck with this film and all your other future endeavors. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.